Member for Richmond Hill.
Mr. Speaker, for decades the world has looked to Canada for moral leadership on issues of munitions control and disarmament. While other countries stockpile weapons of mass destruction, Canadian leaders like Prime Minister Trudeau, Prime Minister Chrétien and Prime Minister Pearson led the charge against them. Today, however, we learned this government reversed this trend and fired Earl Turcotte, one of Canada's leading arms expert, simply because Washington did not like him defending Canadian interests so vigorously. Mr. Speaker, how can this government justify firing a renowned Canadian official who is simply trying to defend Canada's long-standing human rights, interests and reputation?
Minister of Foreign Affairs.
That is completely ludicrous. It is not true, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, we believe on this side of the House that cluster munitions pose, of course, a grave threat to humanitarian and to civilian, which indeed is a serious obstacle, obviously, to sustainable development. Mr. Speaker, on this side of the House, I want to tell you basically, very clearly, that no, we are not throwing anybody out of government. Mr. Speaker, the ambassador to Geneva will be the person who will indeed represent Canada's interests at these negotiations and discussions.
Member for Richmond Hill.
Well, Mr. Speaker, if it's not true, then why is Mr. Turcotte no longer leading the negotiations? In 1971, Prime Minister Trudeau spoke out against nuclear weapons at the height of the Cold War. That was leadership. In 1997, Prime Minister Chrétien led the charge to ratify the Ottawa Treaty to ban dangerous landmines. That was leadership. In 2011, this Conservative government fired Mr. Turcotte for working to ban cluster munitions after the Americans complained he was doing too good a job. Is this leadership? It's laughable. Mr. Speaker, why are the Conservatives always prepared to sacrifice our national interests in favour of U.S. interests?
The Honourable Minister of Foreign Affairs.
Mr. Speaker, our government was very active in negotiations of the Convention on Cluster Munitions and was pleased to be among the first countries in the world to be able to sign the convention in the month of December. I want to reassure the member, Mr. Speaker, that it is our ambassador in Geneva who will indeed be leading these discussions.
Hear, hear.